So we talked about your ethnic background and your love for music, how it was matriarchal. The women in your family helped push you and drive you to be exposed to music. When did you find your voice and how did you celebrate that in song?
So I was 12 and I was living on Long Island and I had my windows open. It was a really nice area on Long Island, so I had my windows open and I was singing that song from A Little Mermaid, Part of Your World. I don't know if you guys know it, but I'll never forget this because this is when I realized that I actually had a voice. So I was singing that song, and one of my dad's friends was working on the house outside, and he heard me. Well, he heard somebody singing. So he came to my window, not like a weirdo, you know, like you know, 'cause I knew him. So he comes to the window and he's like, "Oh, you watching A Little Mermaid?" And I was like, "No, that was me singing." And he was like, "What?" And he was like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, "Yeah, that was me singing." And he was like, "Wow." He's like, "You have an amazing voice." And I was like, So after that, I was like, "Wow, okay, I guess I can sing." So when I was writing poetry, it was that time, and even though I was only 12, you know, and it was more simplistic than it would be for an adult, I took one of my poems and I made it into my first original song. I didn't have a beat, I didn't have a title, I just wrote the whole song, and that's when I decided 2 years later to actually perform it in front of people, because I had stage fright when it came to singing, you know, not dancing, but singing I did it at first, so.
Okay. Singing comes from God. Music has always been written as one of the pacifists that fight sin and evil. In the Bible, it says that when Saul wanted to kill David, David would play music and the savage beast would come out of him. It also said that music inspired rage, because when David would come into the town, the women would sing, "Saul has slayed his thousands and David his tens of thousands," and that would impute rage. Music has the ability to bring power and to heal the hurt within the savage mind or the emotional heart. As a person who could deliver such life and beauty with her tongue, how important is it for you as a singer to always ensure that your last performance is your best performance and the person leaves with a life and integrity instead of leaving with just a beat and music?
Well, my last performance was actually, I feel like if you're not improving in some way, you know, as your career goes on, you know, whether it's performance or vocals or whatever, if you're not improving each and every time, then you're doing something wrong, or, you know, or maybe music isn't for you, because there's always room for improvement. So my last show, I actually, I don't know, like I just said, you know what, screw it, and I just did something different, and I was dancing more, and I was moving around more interactive with the audience, and I feel like it made a big difference. You know, I had people come up to me. One girl was like, "Oh my God, the last song that you made, I love it," and a lot of people can relate to it. And even without performing, like even my music and my music videos, I've had people reach out to me and say, "Listen, this song really, really helped me through a hard time, and I just want to say thank you." I have a song called "So Gone."
I was going to touch on that. Thank you for bringing it up. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So my song "So Gone" is about losing someone, you know, to drug addiction and overdose. And I initially wrote it because I've had so many people close to me die from drug addiction, and the closest person to me was my cousin. So I found out that he had passed away while I was in the studio. I got the phone call. So instead of I broke down, of course, but instead of just completely, you know, squashing the whole session, I decided, you know what, we're gonna go a different route this session. You know, the engineer, he's also a producer, he had beats on deck, so I said, let's listen to something. I want to write about this. I got to write about this, because so many people are suffering from this and losing people because of it, that I really just want to reach a different audience with this song. So I wrote the song "So Gone" in the studio, and I released it. I did a music video for it, and that touched a lot of people as well. I got a lot of great feedback from that song because it is such a relatable situation these days, you know what I mean? So that song really, I feel like changed my perspective on music a lot, to how I can affect people with my music.
I don't want to cut the interview because we're on a very powerful subject. But I want people to get your social media so they can hear your music. Can you give it to them now, please?
Oh, sure. So you guys can find me everywhere at Julz_Federal. It's JULZ_Federal. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, everywhere. So go check me out.